What is up, guys? So we're going to be doing a post-ban list deck profile for dinosaurs, or rather Dinowrestlers, but mixed in with a bit of the generic dinos. This is just a little bit of a different deck that I'm actually trying out. I've been playtesting this for a while now, given that I've been actually on this huge dino phase where I'm just playing a bunch of dino builds and everything like that. So without further ado, let's just get started. So with monsters, we are still playing the 2 Ultimate Conductor, very necessary boss monster that's just really good, and I decided to put Dinowrestlers rather as an engine for this rather than the other way around. It just seems to work a lot better than waste, so with Ultimate Conductor, it's definitely a really good card. Then we have 3 copies of Oviraptor. Oviraptor is still the search of the deck. It's just really amazing, and in Dinowrestlers you definitely want to be using something to at least search them out. Moving on, we have 3 copies of Miscellaneousaurus, a very necessary card to protect your dinos, but at the same time it can also special summon more dinos from the deck as well, so a really nice card, definitely playing 4 obs here, and of course it's another target to go into your level 4s or rank 4 Xyz monsters. Now, given this is a Dinowrestler deck profile, there is a lot of high-level dinos and low-level ones. Because of that, I've actually bumped up Petite Pteranodon to 2, as well as Baby Ceratosaurus to 2 as well. I felt that this ratio was definitely more possible, simply because there are definitely more targets in this particular version. We're also playing 1 copy of Giant Rex. Of course, if it gets banished, it will be really good. So together with Oviraptor and then the Ultimate Conductor, definitely works really well, obviously allowing you to go into your rank 4 Xyz plays as well. Of course, for the Dinowrestler monsters, we are playing 3 copies of Pancratops. Obviously, this is a really key card in the deck, can be special summoned out by Petite Pteranodon, but at the same time, it also just special summons itself really easily as well. So as long as your opponent has more monsters, you could always do that. And I think it works well with this, considering we're playing Lost World. So we'll be able to give our opponents a token whenever we summon a dinosaur. So we can always just make proper use out of Pancratops here. Of course, we're also playing 2 copies of Dinowrestler Stegosaur. Definitely a really amazing card, because if it's special summoned in any way whatsoever, you could just add a Dinowrestler monster or a World Dino Wrestling from your deck to your hand. So definitely a really good card. Also just a 1900 beat stick, which is really surprising to see, so it's definitely really awesome there, and again another dinosaur target, so definitely really nice. Playing 2 copies of Dinowrestler Colisilat. This is a very interesting one because it's only once per duel, but it is our only tuna monster in the deck, allowing us to go into our potential synchro plays. So I think 2 is alright. I mean, it's really just to help with the consistency here. You could get away with 1 if you want to, but I'm playing 2 because I want to actually run into the card as soon as possible. Next, we're playing 1 Capybara. If your opponent controls more monsters, you could also just send one of their monsters to the graveyard. It does have to target, by the way, but overall it's still a really nice card. 1600 beat stick, not too high, but still something that you could actually consider. At the same time, if you use him as a material for links, the link monster actually gets 1000 attack until the end of this turn, so very nice there. Also playing the 1 Eskirimemenchi, very interesting card, of course, because if you have any other dinos already on the field, you can normal summon him without tributing. Has to be a Dinowrestler, but even so, it's really easy to bring out some of the cards anyway. For example, Colisilat and Pancratops, they can special summon themselves out, hence Eskirimemenchi could easily just normal summon itself out as well. And overall, you could just go for your link summons. He can even respond in his own way as well, but together with him, the level 6 and the 2, you could go for your Synchro, which is a level 8. The last monster in our deck is also a hand trap to like Miscellaneousaurus. It's Dinowrestler Martial Anger. This is a way to actually protect your dinos during battle. So it's definitely a really interesting card, not to mention during the end phase, if it was in the grave as well, because it was sent there, it also special summons itself out, as long as your opponent has more monsters than you do, so You could always help build yourself a wall, or perhaps even get yourself more materials to even go for your fusion summons. Alright, so moving on to spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Lost World. Definitely works really amazing with this particular deck. Synergizes by actually special summoning out tokens for your opponent. So I definitely like this card, and it also protects your dinos from being targeted by card effects, and at the same time it also makes non-dinos lose 500 attack and defense, making your dinos a lot more stronger with this particular card. It definitely works incredibly well. We are also playing 3 copies of World Dino Wrestling, basically one of the really good cards as well, because basically if it's in a graveyard and your opponent controls more monsters, just banish this card and special summon any Dino Wrestler monster from your deck. It can only be used once per turn, but even so, it's a really amazing card. And even if it's on the field, and you have a Dino Wrestler on the field, then that means that both players can only attack with 1 monster each, which is also a really nice thing for you. So if your opponent ever destroys it, it also gets a really good grave effect as well. But together with the Lost World, it works really well, because basically, let's assume you're going second, and you have both of these in the hand. You could activate the World Dino Wrestling first, then you can activate the Lost World over it, sending this to the graveyard. Now your opponent has a monster. You could also use this to special summon a Dino Wrestler from your deck now, and then give a token based on Lost World, and then you could do your whole shenanigans and everything like that. Sadly, due to the ban list, we are only limited to 1 terraforming now. I mean, at this point, it's not going to do too much. We are playing 6 field spells, so 1 terraforming, sure, why not? I mean, I guess it gives us the option to actually choose which one we get, rather than to draw them. However, that being said, we are also playing 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. We want to actually ditch our Dino Wrestling to the graveyard. We don't really care about its field effect. We want the grave effect to special summon the Dino Wrestler monsters from our deck, and Foolish Burial Goods will definitely do the job there. Being that we're playing a dinosaur deck, we definitely have to play 3 Fossil Dig. Fossil Dig will search out pretty much anything that is level 6 or lower, including your Escaramanchi, so it's definitely quite nice there. Of course, we're also playing the Tyrant Dino Fusion, just one of them. The fusion doesn't actually come up as often, but overall it is still a very nice card to go into to help facilitate your OTK combos. To prevent our opponent from actually stopping us with different hand traps, we are also playing 3 Called by the Grave. Definitely very nice, definitely very great card to actually stop hand traps from actually dealing with us. We're also playing the 1 Monster Reborn, again, just a way to help extend our board, bring out a few additional monsters to do things, otherwise just go for the finishing blow. And just 1 trap card, we're playing the Metaverse. I figure since Terraforming actually dropped down to 1, I need another card, and Metaverse is also being limited as well, so having them both in the deck, it really is okay. Like, I have no problem with it whatsoever. The interesting thing is, if you have a Dino Wrestler monster on the field and you have Metaverse set, when your opponent enters the battle phase thinking that they might win, you can just activate the Metaverse, bringing out the World Dino Wrestling, in which case your opponent is only restricted now to 1 monster being able to attack you. So it's definitely quite nice seeing that Metaverse might have some bit of viability, but overall you only have 1 of each now, so I figure I might as well just play both of them in any decks that actually have field spells. Alright, so moving on to the extra deck, we're going to be playing the 1 Lagia and the 1 Dolka, obviously your best monster or dinosaur Xyz monsters. Oddly enough, it's not even dinosaurs, they're both dragons, but they require dinosaur monsters to go into. It's just really weird. We're also playing the Tornado Dragon, definitely a great card to pop spells and traps. Playing the Baguska, and of course the Bistuella. Bistuella is definitely very relevant to go up against Salomon Greats, so definitely a nice card there. And of course there's also Baguska as well that will stop your opponents from doing things. As for links, we're playing the Crusadia Avramax, just a very nice boss monster you could actually go for. Sorry about that, let me just focus up on the screen here. Also playing the Yugioh. I can't believe this card was not hit on the ban list. I can't believe it's still at 3. Good to hear that I could still play Yugioh. But we're playing also the one Cerberus and the one Phoenix simply because they are utility cards for links. To help facilitate OTKs, we are playing Underclock Taker. But of course you guys might be wondering, what about the Dinowrestler monsters? Well, here they are. We're playing only one copy of King T-Rexel, much harder to get into than you think because we're not playing pure Dinowrestlers, so I think I'd play more copies of King T-Rexel if we were actually playing a pure variant of Dinowrestlers, but since we are not, we only need to go for one of them. That being said, we are able to play 2 copies of Terra Parcurio. This requires 2 Dinowrestler monsters. I think it's a little easier to go into, and you could still do quite a few things with this card as well. So overall, I think I can get away with 2 of them. As for synchros, we are also playing the one Dinowrestler Giga. This is definitely a really nice card to obviously allow you to go into things. Of course, it's really difficult since you only have one level 6 target and one level 2 target, or 2 level 2 targets. But yeah, ultimately he is a very good card to actually bring out. Now, all the Dinowrestler monsters like T-Rexel or Spinosavat, except for Parcurio, it's just the big boss monsters, including the Chimera T-Rexel as well. When they attack, they're basically ancient gear monsters, where your opponent can't activate any spells or traps until the end of the damage step. So it's definitely really nice, and given that they're all giant beat sticks as well, they definitely are really amazing to actually get you a quick OTK on your opponent. But that's pretty much it for this deck profile, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I might do a test stand video, so let me know and I will get to it. But in the meantime, hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.